Welcome back, YouTube. This is Wulfoath, and today we're doing a reaction to Lil Dicky, Russell Westbrook on a farm. All right. This is a suggestion in the comments, so we're gonna take a look at it, see how it goes. All right. Let's check it out. All right. Let's get it. I recognize that sample, but I did just want to mention I have heard a little bit of Lil Dicky. It's been a long time since I've heard anything of his. Like, saw the one with Snoop Dogg. I saw the Earth one where he had a bunch of different creators. But it's been a minute since I've seen anything on Lil Dicky, so we'll check out this one, and if there's any other ones that you suggest, make sure you put them down below. Alright, let's get to it.
Ain't no doubt about it, shit is coming. And I'm just praying that Lil Dicky love it. Always told myself that this the type of shit I wanted. I was being honest, even made a promise. Not with anybody else, this was inner conscious. Talking to my fucking self, that's a little bonkers.
Alright, so yeah, he's saying that like he had a conversation with himself, basically trying to figure out what he wants with his life, what's going on, and what he wants to do. And talking about, yeah, it can be a little bit crazy, but sometimes that's how you get stuff done, right? Let's go.
I know, I still got a lot of shit to conquer. I hope, that ain't even my concern though. You know I'll be working till I get what I deserve. Whatever totems I can personally, you know I'ma earn those. This ain't even about some shit up on a checklist. This about the fact that I'm about to test this.
Yeah, he's saying that he's in it to see what he can do. This isn't about anything else, any kind of like ambition as far as that's concerned. Like, you have to hit these different milestones, hit these goals. He's not worried about any of that. He's worried about proving it to himself, and probably that's what has to do with that inner monologue he had earlier that you referenced. Yeah.
I'm about to figure out what my best is. I can't avoid it because now your boy invested, and I ain't got a choice except to smile and accept it. Pretty reckless, pretty restless, cause I've lived my life expecting love to come the second my attempt was done. And yeah, I guess to some extent I was correct because I'm getting buzzed, but now I'm about to be ubiquitous. Look it up.
Okay, so he's saying that like he expected everything to just be like he goes and does what he wants to do. Everything else will just wait. Like he said, love. Like maybe he had somebody that was just like waiting for him to like do his thing, and he probably put a lot of time into rapping and let something go. You know, sometimes it happens. If you put a lot of work, a lot of time and effort into your work or into a hobby, that you forget about the people at home. That happens a lot. So maybe something like that happened to him.
Yeah, or that's at least what I'm assuming. But as alluded to, reality is looming, and now your dude about to make a move and take the truth and hope to God that when he threw that what he thought about is proven. But honestly, I'm not afraid that it's delusion. I'm hot enough to where I know it's not illusion. But obviously I've been finding this confusing. This ain't even close to what I thought I would be doing. Don't get me wrong, I was born to be big, but I always figured it would be the comedy thing. So I started rapping just to see what drama it brings, with big dogs from sitcoms with...
Alright, so so he had enough self-assurance to know that he was going to be big, but he originally was a comedian, and which makes sense with some of the music of his that I've heard, but he didn't expect it to actually get big in like the real rap game. I mean, I haven't heard a crazy amount about him, so I don't know how big he actually is in the game. But I mean, if he's made some sort of success and notoriety, good on him. It's a hard industry, especially for a white boy.
Would holler at me, and as the time passed, I rhymed faster, lines crafted was high class as I master my crafting. Goddamn, who'd have thought it'd get like this? Back in 2010, music wouldn't make that list. I'm talking top 5 to 10 strengths with no wings. I would not lie, my pen dry with no ink, or that's at least what I thought, till I clawed and scratched the pen till I saw a line draw. Then I could've let bygones be bygones, but I really wanted to rhyme.
Right, yeah, he says the line drawn, like a line drawn in the sand. Like, he wasn't entirely sure what he was doing until he figured out, oh, this is the lane. This is what I can do. And he pushed to get to that line so that he could cross it and be successful. And because now that he could see that path, he couldn't ignore it. He couldn't look at something else. He couldn't turn back. He was fully committed.
I'm till my line drawn. Like, where the fuck is my peak at? Not brown, but I make it pop, then I beat that.
Where's my peak at? So he's trying to see how good he is.
Not crowned yet, but I don't think I decreed that.
Okay.
Not loud, but you know I'm ready to tweet that. I just really hope I'm ready to be that. Now you seeing where D's at, cause even though I'm softer than the tissue, I ain't nothing to sneeze at. I'm smarter, where the fuck your degrees at? And I ain't harder, but I'm hotter, homie, where the fuck your degrees at? I'm about to come in and desaturate the
Where's the heat? Degrees? Or where's that, where are those college degrees? Somebody with some intellectual rap coming his way, right? Because he definitely is on that more lyrical, highbrow type stuff, right?
sheet rap today and evaporate the feedback I hate. I elaborate at a later date, but I'm getting off the point with the player hate. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, I'm kind of a slave to my ambition. I ain't quitting till my shit is appraised. And I admit it, I predicted where I finish is crazy. But that just means that it's further away. So, Bird about to work until he turned in his grave.
Bird. He said bird?
But that just means that it's further away. So, Bird about to work until he turned in his grave.
Yeah, isn't his... I think a Bird is his last name. Yeah, maybe. Let me know.
It's really burdensome when earning something's fun for the day, but I'm concerned about the burning out from upping the stakes. I'm always up in the stakes. I'm taking dinner meetings in New York, always up for the stakes. We exploring.
Okay, that was a nice little play on stakes. Up in the stakes, always down for the stakes. There's an up and down. And stakes, like STAKES versus STEAKS. So, difference between meat and something that's important, right? You know what I mean.
The discussion, the great, they assuring me that when I'm more elite, I'll be secure and amazed. But this isn't insecurity, man. Like, this the opposite of that. Confidence and fad. My biggest problem is I can't honestly relax, because inside of me a damn odyssey enacts. And I made a promise that I can't be the body to stop and to think I need a lobotomy. Little Dicky, the prophecy, little bit of anomaly. Not a commodity, not a facade or a lot of the comedy. Prodigies commonly brought up with Dicky. Feeling weird, let me...
Hold on, like... Where did he find that pocket? Let's take that back for a second. That was...
More elite, I'll be secure and amazed. But this isn't insecurity, man. Like, this the opposite of that. Confidence and fad. My biggest problem is I can't honestly relax. Because inside of me a damn odyssey and acts. And I made a promise that I can't be the body to stop and think I need a lobotomy. Little Dicky, the prophecy, little bit of anomaly. Not a commodity, not a facade or a lie to the comedy. Prodigies commonly brought up with Dicky. Feeling weird, let me think of it.
Right, like, that was amazing. Like, that was one hell of a pocket. Like, he just pulled that out. Wherever the hell he's coming up with this. Like, it was a really good pocket to find. Like, that flow was just, it was butter. And I don't know why they made me smile so much. I mean, I do know why, because it's what happens when you see greatness, right?
An analogy. Just imagine for a second, what if Russell Westbrook never knew his own mentality? Grew up.
Russell Westbrook, okay, so he is a basketball player, if I remember correctly. I don't remember who he plays for, but yeah, I remember a buddy of mine used to follow him. So yeah, all right. So he's talking about what if he was on a farm instead of playing basketball?
Up on a farm where the biggest commonality was people that conform to the ruralist localities. To Russell, though, it was nothing but normality. And he really nice up on the plow in actuality. Everybody liked the kid and dug his personality. And so the mutuality was somewhat rationality.
Okay. Alright, so he's saying that there's somebody that could easily just conform. And he is referencing Russell Westbrook living on a farm and comparing that to how he was before he became a rapper. Is that where we're getting here? That, let me just hear some more. I think I got it figured out.
So then your man made a plan of practicality. Not even a plan, it was more of a formality. Get a little land and attend to its vitality. Then raise a little fam till it all became finality. The strategy was just to stay in the course and do your chores. When you're happy, you ain't need to abort. Never.
Yeah, that's the key part right there. Okay. So do the thing that makes the most sense in the area that you grew up in, right? So with most people, if their parents own a business, they're most likely going to be growing up and taking over that business. At least somebody is, right? And if your grandfather was such and such and your dad was such and such or your mom was such and such, then chances are, like, you're expected to do that as well, right? So sometimes people break away from that more ingrained expectation, just the way that the cog turns sort of mentality, and they go rogue. They go and do something totally different for themselves, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's their life, right? But that's usually the one that a lot of people that are around them, people that should be part of their support system, part of their family, tend to look at it and downplay it until it starts being successful. And then who knows, right? It just depends on people at that point. And yeah, so I think that's what he's getting at with this. Let's keep going.
Never explored nothing unless he roll around on his horse. Then one day he was up on his horse. That's when he went past the porch. The path he normally passes forth was fast and short, was after more, went faster north. The master lord, a master more. And then discovered the court. He like, yeah, let me down, Tim. Hopped off looking puzzled at the round rim. Saw a ball up in the corner on the ground, and Russell started dribbling and giggling, astounded. Then he shot a brick and then a brick and then he downed it. And when he hit it, Russell listened to the fucking sound frick. Shouldn't have been a swish make, and he was confounded because he knew that he had found him.
Okay, yeah, that was right. So basically he's talking he's talking about, he's continuing on that story of Russell just doing what was expected of him, and then he randomly finds out basically about basketball and gets a chance to experience it, falls in love with it, and then he's stuck with a conundrum of pursue this or pursue the thing that I've been working towards for as long as I can remember. Right?
But right now it was still for the fun, just a way to kill the time when the farming was done. Then the walking turned to running, and the hopping turned to jumping and dunking, and Russell had to keep coming because the youngin' was fucking disgusting and loving and running it. All of a sudden the public started to come in abundance and fuck with him cause he was butter and hungry cause stories are glory. Now normally for people like him, then the word got around up to ESPN, and they flying Russell down to compete in the gym. Bunch of grown men looking to belittle the kid because to those men ball was the reason to live. And
okay. Alright, so he kept doing it because for the love of the sport, for the love of the activity, and started getting so good at it that people noticed, right? And I'm assuming it's going to be something along the lines of, well, why don't you play professionally? And they offer him a spot, and he has to choose whether or not to leave his farm or go do that, right? Which is the same choice that a lot of people end up having to make. Everybody has their farm, everybody has their basketball, right? And it's that decision of, do you continue doing the thing or do you pursue your passion? And I would agree, always pursue your passion.
The goats, they've been all in since they was kids. So this goat on the motherfucker look like a dick. And even though Russell knows that, he doesn't submit. He just chills with a grin. And then the game started and this motherfucker take charge, make it rain hard, D up on these bitches, making children of men, looking better than his predecessors ever could get. Turn the animosity to respect. And then the Thunder called him, said they heard a lot about the ballin', told him that they want to get involved in, showed him all the shit that you can get up in the league is so appalling.
That's the part I was talking about, where people that weren't involved in your rise up will start being more accepting of it after you show success.
Oklahoma City in the autumn, hella pretty awesome. Everybody laud them, every bitty looking like they're really fucking falling. Condominium is so legitimate, it's sprawling. And this motherfucker on the court straight balling. Cash all up in that ass, lolling at the past like, where the fuck would I be at up on the other path, right?
Where would I be if I hadn't got the path right? I think that's what he said. Yeah. It's always interesting, right? Like, think of where you're at right now. Could totally be different with a couple different choices made differently, not just by you, but people that were involved in your life. Like, when people talk about they engineer their own success, no. Like, you get yourself going in sort of the right direction and just hope that things fall in line for you. Now, like the old saying, you will miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. That is where that comes into play. That's about the only thing you got when it comes to manifesting your own destiny, is give yourself the chances. If you don't put yourself out there to take the chance, you ain't gonna win, right? But there's very little when it comes to like something like skill in stuff like this. It's totally luck, for the most part. It's a roll of the dice from beginning to end.
If I never stumble upon a game and think of that life, shit, who taking care of my farm? Who taking care of my farm? Who taking care of my farm?
I really love that farm.
Cake, 500 million, now that's a pound cake, according to Jay-Z and Drake. But greatness ain't about cake.
Dollar bill, y'all. a good sample. All right. So that is Lil Dicky, Russell Westbrook on a Farm. I thought it was a great song, and he talked a lot about the difficult choices that people have to make when it comes to something that you are born into and have been working towards for a very long time versus a passion that you find that you realize is so consuming. If you haven't found that type of passion, keep looking, right? Because there's always something out there for everybody. And like when I said, I think that you should always pursue that versus the established thing, I think you should. Like, there's a saying that if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. Not entirely true. Even things that you love can be very exhausting and very intensive when it comes to that kind of work. But it's something that you'll enjoy more, right? I'd compare it to someone having a kid and someone getting kicked in the nuts. One of them is more rewarding than the other, right? So they both hurt, but there's one that you would prefer. So if that's the case, it could be completely the other direction where it's amazing following your dreams versus a dead-end job that you hate. And that dead-end job, you hate it, but it gives you security, whereas the other one, you don't know what's going to happen. It's still worth taking the risk if you can do it and it makes sense. Like, don't make your family homeless. Stuff like that. But yeah, I think some people should always shoot for their dreams, and I don't think there's a time limit on that. If you aren't there, keep shooting, keep finding a way to take shots, right? And that was Lil Dicky, Russell Westbrook on a Farm. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you put a like down below. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and check back for new content that we'll be putting out every single day. I'm committing to doing a new video every single day until the end of the year. So if you like the content that I make sure you tune in for more, okay? We'll be checking out all different kinds of stuff. If there's anything specific that you want to see, make sure you put it down in the comments below. Thanks. All right, till next time. Peace.